So the last time I was a member of parliament, when we had been given an opportunity to serve, like now, we started to do my factory, my bakeries, my sewing project, so that those that wanted to leave the sex working profession would come and actually work and uniform, and so on. So we want to do more of that, really just to empower women.
Hello and welcome to The Shift, a weekly program that we celebrate women who are making great strides in their various industries. Today in studio, I'm joined by a politician, a woman who did great in her constituency, Salera Makari. She's going to share with us her journey, the challenges, and most importantly, to share with us how she made it to the top, so that you, if you also aspire to be a politician, you're going to learn from her. Join me after this break. Welcome, Honorable Makari, to The Shift, and thank you so much for allowing us to come into your space.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations on your win, though it's a bit belated.
It is.
All right, as we start, people have said that politics is for men, but we saw you winning in one of the CCC former constituents in Epworth. Maybe tell us, what has been your secret?
Well, I don't have, thank you very much for this opportunity. I don't have a secret, but what I do is I have a formula that I'm not going to share with you. But I mean, this constituency was formerly Triple C, but formerly ZANU-PF, because I was the MP 2015 to 2018. So it was also ZANU-PF. But yes, I do agree, our society here in Zimbabwe is predominantly male dominated in the political space. But I think that when you have a passion for what you do and you pretty much don't listen to the naysayers and you go for it. It's a lot of hard work. It's a very, very difficult environment, politically, socially, economically. But if you're passionate about it, I suppose you'd say where there's a will, there's a way. So I just am so determined to change my constituency. So gender is one of the least barriers to entry.
And with the way how our society has been cultured, that maybe if women get into politics, they're given names. Share with us about your journey, how you started. For you to say, today, I'm going to join politics, or next month I'm going to join politics.
Okay, so I lived overseas for about 13 years. Came back to Zimbabwe, which was something that I always wanted to do, to come back and give back to my country. Joined corporate Zimbabwe, worked for one of the telecommunications company at management level from 2012. One day I'm sitting in my office, I see a by-election in Epworth. Now, what people don't know is that my roots are actually in Epworth. My grandfather was one of the founding fathers of Epworth in terms of, he came up obviously generations later, but Vakagatswane Church, the Methodist, so he came to settle in Epworth, and so my family home is there. We have a cemetery there. My brother, my grandparents are all, so it's home. So when I saw Epworth, I thought to myself, this is an opportunity where I can actually work and change the narrative of Epworth. I've seen Epworth Iri rural, I've seen Epworth Iri peri-urban, and now I'm going to see Epworth in the very near future being a town. So that progress is something that I've always wanted to forge.
There are stereotypes that people always put forward. They say if you're not connected or if you don't find your ways, the negative ways, of course, to get into politics, you cannot thrive. Were you privileged to be related to anyone in politics?
Yes, I was very privileged. I was related to the former president, RG, Vangwari Sekuruwangu, very dear to me. I would say he is my inspiration, even that he's late, God rest his soul. But I wouldn't say, I'm going to tell you something I've never told someone, told anyone, sorry. When I decided to go into politics, I obviously, asked my Sekuru and told my Sekuru this is what I wanted to do. And Sekuru and Amboya, the former first lady, said, no, don't get into politics. It's tough. So contrary to what people would like to say, they thought maybe, it would be tough for me. I wouldn't be able to fight it. But years down the line, when I got the opportunity to be with them, they were very proud that, look, you've turned yourself into a politician,
Was that ground not a bit even comparing to other Zimbabweans like myself, who doesn't have a Sekuru in politics, who I can then go to and say Sekuru, or people know that you are a nephew to the president? So can you maybe share with us, even for the benefit of those who are watching as well, because they always say because she was related to a politician, so it was not as easy as someone wants to get into politics as well.
Well, I would say that people would obviously have their opinions and they're entitled to them. But here's the truth that I'm telling you. Obviously, very few people knew, unless those people who knew me personally or people that actually read. I didn't walk around, flaunting that. I'm sure you're also hearing it for the first time, not because I was ashamed. I was very proud. But, as any person, I want to charter my own path. RG, God rest his soul, Sekuru charted his own path. So I have my own path. I think I do because I do have the Goshungo blood in me. I am tough, yeah. So I'm not a pushover by any means, as you would see with RG. But no, I didn't have any favors. I didn't have a silver spoon. I had to work. And in actual fact, I had to work harder because I knew that that's what people said. And if that was the case, 2015 came. Together 2018. 2018, I wasn't able to defend my seat because of the transition that was happening with the Second Republic. Some people thought, let's not give her that opportunity. But I then stood as an independent because for me, it's about doing the job. I'm born and bred ZANU-PF, but the people come first for me. So come 2022, Sekuru passed on 2019, and so what's the narrative now? He's gone, and I'm still back. I'm with the people. I work hard, tirelessly. I'm in my constituency. I help people. I carry babies. So I'm passionate about what I do. So right now, hocus pocus to this. It's just putting in the work and actually loving what you do. And people can tell. People can see right through you. Could see, you focus, cannot you. I think there's something there. So
maybe share with us the transitions. You're passionate about your constituency, and that relations thing comes to play, and they think you're on the other side or the other side. How did that affect you as an individual?
Um, Sorry, say that again. I don't want to answer what yeah, say that again, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've been talking about how your relationship with the former president did not really necessarily chart the course of your life. But here is 2017, and there's a transition in government, and people just think you are not part of them, and then you have to be
Okay.
independent.
Well, I mean, first of all, let me be clear. My relationship with the former uh, impacted me on a personal level and a relational level and a political level because he was a political par excellence, and I obviously looked up to him also going to politics. But I didn't get any favors. There's nothing that I got from him or his or the first lady Ambuya that like a favor in that area. I mean, look, politics is dynamic. I mean, there's a bigger picture and there's a small picture. There's some people that still feel like I don't belong, but ZANU-PF is such a huge party that is based on deeper things than just you belong or you don't belong. You've heard the president saying, "Kuti, ihongwe." We all fit in there if you want to be part of of that movement, if you want to be part of ZANU-PF and the ideology that inspired me to actually stand with ZANU-PF.
Like you're saying that ZANU-PF ihomwe. How did you come back? Being an independent candidate, and then you want to come back to ZANU-PF. You have seen Jonathan Moyo, Kasuguere. They're still not in Zimbabwe because of that transition. For you, how was your journey to come back into ZANU-PF?
Yikes, I don't know their story, and I'm not going to speak on their behalf. I don't know. They'll tell their own story. I'm going to tell my story. I never left ZANU-PF. I stood as an independent. For me, it was a child throwing their toys out of the carpet. I was just frustrated that at least give me an opportunity to defend my seat and so that I can finish the work that I had done. So I never left ZANU-PF. So when the opportunity came to for a by-election, I just submitted my paperwork, and and I really think that the powers that be knew the struggle that I had had in 2018. But yeah, I was just given an opportunity in democracy in the background, so I was just given that opportunity, and it was people were so passionate. I remember I got in so late in the race that my name was not on the ballot paper. People were actually writing my name. So it speaks to the work that we do, the opportunity to actually really transform and change lives. Slowly, albeit, but very determined.
We're interested about how you grew up. How did you grow up? Did it have an effect with you maybe wanting to be in a leadership position?
Okay, so born and bred like anybody else, upper middle income. My parents were both working. I have about 6 siblings, and I'm Catholic, born and bred Catholic. Went to primary school, Martindale and St. Dominic's. So born and bred Catholic. I've always been in leadership position in terms of senior prefect at St. Dominic, senior prefect Kubonda, and then housecom at university. I've always had that in me. But what I also have had is that determination just to see things done properly and let's do it right. And I always fought for the underdog. So yeah.
And would we say that education and politics, is education important when you want to get into politics?
Well, I'm going to give you my personal view. I don't know, if it is or if it isn't. I think it is not that important. I think obviously you should be able to read and to convey your message in whatever language you choose to use. I think you should also be able to write. I mean, nomination codes, like how does that work? But I think that education has become so overrated. Like in terms of you must have a degree and you must have a master's. I think it does very little to connect with the ordinary person. I actually think it's a barrier because sometimes when you've got too much in your head, so you're so connected, nevanu on a real level, it's difficult. I mean, I don't know about other constituencies like the urban constituencies, but I'll tell you about Epworth. I mean, you like you've got people that are doing well. We've got vendors, we've got sex workers, we've got drug dealers, we've got it's like a mixed bag. So you sometimes you have to go high up there when you're dealing with those that are high up there, and then sometimes you have to go to the lowest of the lowest. So I think education is immaterial. It's just the passion in politics. That's what I think.
And how did you manage to connect with the people in Epworth? Coming from here and going to Epworth, how do you relate with them so that they vote for you 2 times?
Like I said, people then choose where they want to be in life in terms of where they do eventually want to live. If I wanted to live in Epworth, I would. And it's got nothing to do. I've seen people even on Twitter talk about Epworth. Kana uchishanda kuchi buku kumbare wa kugarere muchi buku kumbare. It's got nothing to do with the work that I do. I'm present when I'm needed. I'm present when I'm not needed. I leave at night. I go home to rest like anybody else. So I connect with them because, I mean, and I was, why wouldn't I connect with them?
How important is it for women to get into politics? In most political parties, what we see women participating is people singing, during rallies, and cheering up other men who are into politics. In your view, why is it important for women to participate in key decision-making roles?
I mean, it's critical. If you look at the demographics of our country, we have women sitting at 53% of the population. Second, this is majority. Who then do we expect to go and fight our battles? We are going to expect men to go and talk about even issues that are sensitive to us, Madzimai, and yet we don't want to go in the political space. One, and then when we do go into the political space, we don't want to hold the hands of Wangwe, Varukuya, Madzimai. Threats. I've seen that. So it's critical. It's absolutely critical. We have right now 53% of women in this country. And if you look at the percentage, Yemadzimai in politics doesn't exceed 6%. So what are we doing? Right now we're working in the legislation, you're 50-50, representation in parliament. Inovakupiko kana madzimai acho takutokuzvuvai kuti come into this space, but I do also understand there has to be an environment that's forged. I can't, like my male counterparts, be out, kubasa at all hours of the night. I'm also a mother, I'm also a parent, so I still have duties that a woman, does. And so, but I'm saying, yes, madzimai, we fight together. And, I actually prefer, women. I think it's easier, to have an MP at Mthuli because it's sensitive more than our male counterparts.
And do you think the empowerment, the 50-50 empowerment, is practical in the political parties?
I think that's where it should start, because from the time that they submit nomination papers, ndapange in 50%. We need that enforcement. Kana paper you've got 50-50 representation, then we shouldn't even have those papers submitted nomination codes. My political parties, my positions are equal. Let's have 50-50. It starts there and then it cascades all the way to the top.
And in your view, do you think that the women who are in parliament right now, they have the capacity, or it's just because you want a 50-50 in parliament and therefore they are there?
I don't know if they have the capacity. I know I have the capacity. I'm very careful about speaking on behalf of other people. I don't know what capacity people have and what yardstick we use to measure capacity. But yeah, I do. I think we do have a good number of those that have capacity. Yeah.
Your first day in politics, what are some of the challenges that you can share with us?
So now you remember, I'm not a novice. So this is, I don't know if you want me to talk about my first days in 2015 or you want to talk about the first days now. Look, initially it was because you're thinking, don't know for this position. My job is legislation. My job is kupasa mtemo. But description ya MPM Zimbabwe is so convoluted. I mean, we are professional undertakers. We know how to bury people. We know how to, to help and to take people to hospitals. Like, we're preoccupied also with that. When I have the resources, it's my greatest pleasure. But I mean, it's tough. It's tough all around. Initially, it was tougher because you're in a male-dominated environment. There's some intimidation. I mean, there are other people. I remember something really funny in 2015. I'm thrown into Parliament, and I get into Parliament, and I think the former president was doing his State of the Nation. What was he doing? No, it was a budget. So he was in Parliament anyway. So I get in Pakazara, and then I'm sitting. One of the more senior MPs comes and says, my junior MP Sumukai. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know Kutukune my junior MP. I just thought Kutukune my MP, and I stood my ground. I just felt that he was targeting me because I'm a woman, and I was much younger then, and he's like, Sumuka, no, kuna my junior MPs, kuna my MPs, I thought that was funny. But yeah, I mean, obviously there are many challenges. There are people that want to undermine you because they think Urimudzimai. You spoke about the name calling. It's prevalent. But now, at first I'd come home and cry. Yes. Ndiripambi in not such a nice way. Why? And now, I'd be very but now it's like, oh, okay, if that's what you think, that's your opinion. But you haven't heard my opinion of it, so it's very interesting that, we get a lot of bullying and undermining you because of gender initially. Yeah.
Some young women might be afraid to get into politics because some say that there's a lot of sexual harassment. In the years that you have been an MP and been in Parliament, have you seen such happening?
No, I mean, I would suppose sexual harassment, because of the fact that it's harassment, it would be hidden. So I wouldn't say I've seen it. I wouldn't say I've experienced it per se, but I mean, obviously, I always say to people will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Now, unless you're violated and forcefully taken, in, but I don't carry myself like I'm the kind of woman that you can just say anything to. I don't. There are boundaries. So I think that, I would encourage women to come. Carry yourself like a lady. People will treat you like a lady.
Share with us some of the achievements that you've done in Epworth. We have constituencies that people always try for. MPs just come during campaigning time and they say, we're going to do all those sort of things. what have you done in your constituency that is outstanding that people should vote for you or voted for you?
Okay, so as you know, Epworth is a dormitory location. What our issues mainly revolve around regularization, Mvura, Nimagetsi. I pioneered the regularization 2015. We're continuing. Yangambo slow it down. Sakaban Maruku allocate Kovachi Dzimba dzavo zviri pamutemo. That's one. So we're doing this from Ward 1 to Ward 7. We have 7 wards in the constituency. Magetsi, obviously, we're actually working Nemari CDF with some tower lights because pama shopping center vanhu pavanoburukira vari kupondwa, you know. Nematsotsi, the roads, I mean, we have the best roads now in terms of Chiremba Road, you know, right now to Isirwa Delport that spans from the airport, cuts across into Epworth and goes to Mutare Road. So the roads are being done. We opened a clinic, as you would know, during our celebrations. We're waiting for the ministry to furnish it for it, and it starts working. That's in one of the wards in Ward 7. Maboho, till now it's in about, so far I've sunk about 5 boreholes. It's not enough. I always think, okay, right now we're working on town status. Epworth is going to be a town, and we're looking to the government even running water, because a borehole is just a stopgap measure. It's not sustainable. So my challenges rakare kwemvura ku Ward 2, I know in Ward 6 we've now talked to Zima, and water's coming not every day but maybe twice a week. We have running water in the places that they have taps there. It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, that we're doing. We put the RG's office there. Now we're pushing to have it a district office, such that you can actually get your printed ID. So we're in liaison with the Ministry of Home Affairs. We actually, I think in the next month, we're officiating the opening of a magistrate's court in Epworth. So there's a lot that we're doing. My title deeds. I know this has been a story. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but I'm going to tell you that come September, some great things are coming to Epworth. Historical, first time in history, that I'm totally excited about. It happened under my watch, and I think that 2023 is going to be a landslide.
And how important is mentorship? Did you have anyone mentoring you, be it women or men, in your political journey?
Yes, I have 3 mentors, and obviously I've got. I don't want to, say out their names, but I have a political mentor. I have a financial mentor, and I have a religion mentor, or prayerful person mentor. So yeah, I do. How can you live without looking up to something, or looking up to someone? I think it's very dangerous. And Pauri Papo, there's nothing you can learn from anyone. There's nothing anyone else can teach you. So yes, definitely, I do have 3 mentors that are very dear to me. Yes.
And do you also have young women that you're mentoring, or young men?
So I do. I have even on my team, on my campaign team, I've got guys doing the social media. I have women that do little researches for me. I've got a young lady now who's doing a fantastic job. Angari, a senior ku Epworth. She's traveling the world now. She works for an NGO. So I do have a couple of women that I mentor, but I am actually going to structure a program on that, to mentoring young politicians, because I think Panima mentors Akawanda, for career guidance and so on. But I think in the political space, there's need to rally Madzimai Shidiki, akawanda, and we have that, talk about going into politics. It doesn't have to be mainstream politics, like MP or a councillor. There's other things that you can also do where if you're not ready to be on the stage, you can do.
Many people have spoken about the poor head down syndrome. In your personal journey, did you face that?
Yeah, I mean, look, you will face that. You will face that. But I mean, there's always people that tell you no. I mean, there are people that told me don't go into politics. But, like I was saying to you, you have to be very careful and very sure of what you want. Otherwise, unongo peppered nemebo. Angoyo ne opinion yake. But I was, there is the pull me down syndrome. And I think that's the other thing. Because like I talked about us being the majority, but it's us women that vote men into power. Sometimes you know madzimai achitaura zvinhu zvakaipa pamusoro pe mamwe madzimai, or just pulling it down, and it's wrong. It's wrong, definitely.
How do you see 2023? Do you think that you're going to take the seat again?
Absolutely. 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 It's not going to be easy. We're going to win for the party. We're going to win for the president. We're going to take the seat again. I mean, we're working hard. But to deliver on the promises that we made. When we deliver on the promises that we make, people will vote. And we're in the process of doing that. So, hands down, I think 2023 we'll be very happy.
Do you have regrets in your life or in the political journey?
Of course I do. I mean, like anybody else, I have regrets. Obviously, like any person. Sometimes it gets so tough that you think, like I actually applied. I begged to apply for this job. It gets tough, but there are also some fantastic times where you actually see, the things that you've worked for. Like I said, watch September come to fruition. Then you say, this is why I do what I do, because we want to make a change.
And as we close, I would ask you to address your young self. What would you tell her?
My young self? I would tell her that don't... What would I tell her? Yeah, no, I wouldn't say don't listen to people, but if you have conviction in your heart and you are absolutely sure in your heart that this is the way you want to go in terms of politics, then go for it. I would tell the young me that be very careful, don't be naive. Things are not always what they seem. Yeah. So sometimes people will see you driving a certain car, dressed in a certain way, and they think, shakadai, shakadai. Things are not always what they seem. Don't be too hard on yourself. Forgive yourself. If you make mistakes, you fall down, quickly get up. And guess what? If no one ever tells you that you're fantastic, zichaire phone, and tell yourself that you're fantastic and you can do it. Because sometimes we're waiting for someone that's going to tell you to do kutia and wakapenga. So tell yourself that. Yeah.
And to the Epworth electorate, what would you say to them?
I mean, I see Epworth all the time. I love Epworth. I love my constituency. They know that. I tell them I love them at my rallies, so they know that. Tinebas, basari zirangu, basanderedu. We've got to work hard. We've got to do it together. Nika inova kwa nevayo. We are Epworth, and we're going to build Epworth together.
Thank you so much, Honorable Makari, for joining us on this episode of The Shift. And thank you so much to the viewers who are watching us. And I believe that you've learned from her journey, from the challenges, and all that she has shared. Till next time, this is Heart and Soul TV and Radio, and my name is Rimbo Nikadzino. It's a good afternoon.